all my energy is just drained. This is a pretty nice campsite. I mean, it's nice and flat. Bought an onion today, so I sauteed the onion with some peanuts and then poured some water in and then cooked some buckwheat and pasta with it to make a kind of soup. But yeah, pretty healthy, I think. Okay, it's been 4 days since I made that stew, and I gotta tell you, it's been a pretty miserable 4 days. I'm not sure what happened. I mean, all that food there was only touched by me, and I keep everything super clean. I mean, that's the whole point of me cooking for myself now, is to make sure I don't get sick from anything. Maybe I drank some bad water, who knows? But anyways, I woke up in the middle of the night, just freezing, like shivering, and I had to go use the restroom really bad. And I go use the bathroom, and it's exactly how you think it would be. And I run back into my tent, and I just put on all my thermal layers, and I put on my sleeping bag liner and my sleeping bag, and I cinch all the way to my face, and I'm just shivering, and my skin is all tender, and my joints are super sore. And even getting up and getting down to go to the bathroom just took like all of my energy. And I'm shivering myself to sleep. I can barely keep my mouth like closed because my teeth are chattering so much. And somehow I managed to fall asleep after, 30 minutes. 2 hours later, I wake up and I'm hot. I had to take off all my clothes. I'm burning up. I'm sweating. I take off everything and I lay on top of my sleeping bag, and I'm just burning up, sweating bullets for a half hour. And then I finally fall back asleep after having gone to the bathroom again. And yeah, by the time the morning comes around, this is a really thorny bush right here, but I'm perfectly in frame. So morning comes around and I'm just completely drained. I can barely move. Just lifting my head is just taking all of the energy that I have. And at this point, I'm like, there's no way I can cycle right now. I didn't plan on that camp spot being a layover day, especially because it's right next to the freaking road. But yeah, so I just laid in bed until the sun was just about to hit my tent, and I finally had to gather all my things, put them in the bags, put them out of the tent, and I found a tree up on the cliff that was shadowing this little pocket in the rock that I could put my tent in and sleep all day. Just like dismantling my tent, carrying it up to this cliff, and then going back down and taking the things I need back up to the cliff. That took a ton of energy. Just packing my bags already was a lot. So whenever I wanted to use the bathroom, I had to climb back down this cliff face, go do my thing, and then climb back up. Because I mean, this is the only way to, this is the only place that there was shade. So yeah, that whole day, all I did was just sleep and shit. And let me tell you, it was awful. I didn't eat a single thing. And then I ran out of water. Before sunset even happened, I ran out of water. There's no way I was gonna be able to cycle to a spring or anything. So then I had to grab my bottles and go over to the road and beg for water. So many cars were going by me, and finally the semi-truck came with a big 1.5 liter Fanta bottle filled with water. He gives it to me, said Ahmad, and I go back to my camp. And I try my best to ration that thing till the next day. Night falls, and then all of a sudden I wake up to right next to my tent. And I freak out. I grab my pepper spray, because when I camp wild, I always keep my pepper spray and my knife next to me. I have my pepper spray and my knife, and I open up my tent. I got my flashlight out too, and the dog runs back down the cliff, and I look down, and there's this dog, like a German Shepherd or whatever. It seems to be scared off. I'm nervous because all my food is down at the bottom of the cliff. There was no way I had the energy to carry that stuff up. But then I go back to bed. The dog comes back up, and then I freak out. I get back up, he's gone again. The second time though, I had to go use the bathroom again, and so I just go back down the cliff. I start using the bathroom, and then all of a sudden, I see a flashlight like shining its light on me as I'm squatting, doing my thing, and it's a soldier, and he shines his light on me, and I'm like, salam, and I finish up. And he like asks me what I'm doing here and stuff, and he obviously doesn't speak any English whatsoever. 2 more soldiers come up to me, so I got 3 soldiers with their lights on me asking me these questions, and then they're like, you can't camp here, this is too close to Afghanistan, and I'm like, what are you talking about? This entire road is on the river next to Afghanistan. Everybody lives on this road. People live right here. I can't camp here. He's like, Gostinitsa hotel, like Gostinitsa tam, a hotel over there. And I'm like, I'm not staying at a hotel. I'm camping. Like, you advertise this place as a hiking camping place for tourists, and you're gonna not let me camp? This is the only road. I have no choice. I mean, what do you want me to do? So I used Google Translate eventually and just told him, hey man, I'm super sick. I really can't move at this point. Can you please just let me sleep here? I promise I'll leave in the morning. He was cool, and he left, and he let me sleep there for the night. So yeah, next morning I gathered all my stuff. It was a super slow start. I'm still feeling like crap. And then I start cycling. But man, every slight incline, no matter if it's paved or gravel, every slight incline, I'm just on my lowest gear and just exhausted and having to take a break over my handlebars. I didn't really film any of it because, I mean, I was dying. I didn't really care about filming at that point. I knew I could just recap it here really quick. And so I finally get to a campsite that's like 60 kilometers away. Again, it doesn't sound that far, but these roads are a mixture of paved and not paved. And at this point, it was mostly not paved. And I didn't eat anything for the second day either. I think I had like one granola bar, and that was it. So I get to this camping spot I found on maps.me, and there's this little cafe, and the guy at the cafe, he's like, you want some food? I was so desperate at this point for food. I didn't have any energy to cook, and honestly, I'm getting so tired of buckwheat and pasta. I don't know how much longer I can do this. But I said yeah, and he had some pulav, and the pulav was fantastic. He showed me his kitchen, and it was just chock full of flies and grime. I tried not to think about it, and it paid off. It didn't get me sick, surprisingly, because that was the gnarly kitchen. And all these drunk Taji guys are trying to get me to drink with them and join with them, and luckily I had a pretty good excuse that I was sick, and for the most part they left me alone after they got to ride my bicycle. Then the cafe owner, he let me camp behind his place. You know, I'm still shitting sherbert at this point. Luckily there was a place not too far where I could do that. No squat toilet by any means, but honestly, the squat toilets here are so grody. It smells a lot nicer, and it's a lot cleaner just to do your business outside. And I woke up feeling pretty all right. This is today, by the way. Woke up feeling all right. He made me some eggs and some tea, which I ate fine because his previous meal he made me was totally fine. Yeah, today I feel pretty good, which is great because today's my birthday. Not at the time you're watching this, but at the time I'm filming this, it's my birthday. So it's a good day to feel good, I guess. These people from Switzerland cook me delicious food. Yeah, this is the best birthday meal, thank you.
You will make a photo? What do you do now?
Video.
A video? I can take it for you, so...
Yeah, now it's recording.
Oh, so, again, it's birthday from Williams. Hey, without glass.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not nice, huh? Okay. Alex? Super. Huh? It's our dinner for William. And people bring us tea and cherries. Okay? Yeah. I think it's okay.
Perfect.
And your food is okay?
Phenomenal, yeah.
So I hope you will not be sick.
I will not be sick, thank you.
And have a good trip.
Thank you. Oh, and side note with these Swiss people. So I mentioned to them that I had stopped eating food from restaurants and things because I've just been sick for like over a month. And once I started cooking for myself for the past couple weeks, I've actually been regular and I've felt great and I've had energy again. And they go, oh, you've been sick? We haven't been sick this whole time. We've been traveling for 3 months and we've never gotten sick. And then they go on to talk about all the experiences with the people and how they get stopped all the time to say hello and how it's so great and everybody's so friendly, how everyone wants to talk to them all the time. And I was just kind of taken aback by how vastly different our experiences have been out here. And I know that there are many contributing factors as to why this is, one of which is state of mind, obviously. However, it's pretty hard to maintain a positive state of mind when you're riding a bicycle with diarrhea on God's most bumpy roads imaginable in the heat of the Central Asian sun. And another difference too is that they're traveling in a beautiful, luxurious camper van with air conditioning. And again, I'm out here baking in the sun with no resolve, no shelter, no recluse, just this. So yeah, that, I don't know how that made me feel. I didn't feel envious. I just felt like, again, here are more people that just don't understand where I'm coming from. This is one downside of traveling by yourself. You really feel like you're the only one within your struggle. Every now and then I will meet fellow cyclists and we can kind of bond over these hardships. But right now, man, all I got to talk to is the camera. Got about 25 more kilometers to go, and today's been pretty well paved. I'm really surprised by how good quality the roads are. I mean, these would be garbage roads back where I live, but here, man, fine. Remember earlier when I broke that spoke and I went to go fix it? Well, I realized that the disc is directly in front of, I should just show you. See that little hole through the disc brake here? That's the hole of which I need to feed the spoke through. However, contrary to what it might look like, this spoke is just exactly in the wrong position for me to be able to feed the spoke through. It forces you to put the spoke through at an angle, and then the spoke won't go through the hole because it's at an angle. And you can't feed it through the other way either. And the thing is too, if you were able to bend it, which I have tried bending a spoke too and kind of screwed one up, if you were able to bend it and get it through that hole, where is it going to go? It's just going to hit this axle here. And you see, I thought I was just being incompetent, but then I met a couple cyclists, one of which who's been cycling the world for 4 years, and even he was like, yeah, you got to take the disc brake off. There's no way to get your spoke in there. So I've been riding without a spoke here, trying to take it pretty easy. I haven't been filling up my water bladder very much. It can hold 10 liters, but I don't know how much the actual rim here can take, because now the tension's uneven and I really don't want to crack the rim. That would just pretty much be the end of my trip. That would completely break my bank. That's how fragile my budget is right now. So yeah, taking it slow. There's another problem I got too. I just now blew through my front brakes. So I didn't buy new brake pads. I didn't buy a backup pair. I thought these would be fine, especially because I didn't buy the cheapest brake pads. So I'm hoping when I get to Korog, which is the capital of the Pamirs, I can find brake pads, maybe buy the tool that somebody will use to hopefully put a new spoke onto my bike. So I gotta find one of those tools as well. But Jake and I are, you know, holding strong. This is the real test. I thought Uzbekistan was the real physical and mental test. Not at all. This is extreme weather conditions, extreme terrain, and extreme budgeting. So, pray for me. Thank you.